Hey y'all, it's your girl Tiffani Lola back with another video. And today we're going to talk about being authentically you, being unique, and finding your footing out of cosmetology school. It's so important to know who you are and not lose your identity when getting into the beauty industry. So let's get into it. So, no, for real. First of all, when you coming out that cosmetology school, you have to first of all, find your a good mentor, somebody you look up to. Don't, of course, you went to the school, did the program, and now that you've graduated or you finished or whatever, you have to kind of find somebody to look up to. You just can't come out of cosmetology school and just wing it. We are not winging it. Okay, so that's number one. No winging. Find somebody that can mentor you from cosmetology school entering into the beauty industry. So that's the goal. We want to maintain a relationship with somebody that's kind of like in the game, that can kind of guide you, show you the way. So that's number one. Find you a mentor. Find somebody that you can look up to. Second, you need to find what you want to do. Now, at the beginning of your journey in the beauty industry, it's not going to be clean cut. You going to have to do some of everything. I'm telling you that right now. You got to find what your thing is going to be. When I first started, I did everything. I did braids, I did twists, I did quick weaves, I did sew-ins, I did everything until I literally found something that people could identify me for. So I think I did like Top Knot Tuesday. That was what I was known for, like in my hometown. Top Knot Tuesday for $25, hair included. People ate it up. So they kind of, okay, I know Lola does Top Knot Tuesdays. So that's what you just be identified with one thing at first, and then the rest will follow. So, with being identified with whatever that one thing is, once I was identified for like being, the girl that did the Top Knot Tuesdays, then I found like, okay, everybody knew me. Okay, oh, Lola, they knew my name. Lola was popping up. So, you got to make sure they know who does the perfect thing. And I know I did a perfect top knot. So they would come to me. Okay. So now I have the identity of Lola, right? And once you made that name, then you'll get not necessarily booked, but word of mouth, especially if you do a good job. Okay. Okay, so once I was identified as Tiffani Lola, of course, that's when I started to perfect my craft. I think a lot of times we think about being perfect the first time. Once you get out of school, you're not going to be perfect. Once people know who you are and identify who you are, the perfection will come. Okay? Practice always makes perfect. Okay? And also make sure your identity is a good identity. Don't be out here being about no mess. Don't be out here starting no drama, especially if you're in the beauty industry. It can be messy sometimes, but you don't want to be in a mess. Always remember that. So make sure if you don't remember anything I say in this video, remember your name is always, it's going to carry weight, whether it's good or bad. So once you mess up that identity, that's it. If you scamming, that's it. They're gonna know you for scamming Lola. Okay? So you wanna make sure your name stays clean. So identity is not just like about hair, it's about, having integrity. Always. Being honest, doing honest business. Okay? So that's what we want to be identified. Also, when you're learning your identity, learning your identity doesn't necessarily mean copying somebody, okay? Because we want to know the difference between being, inspired by somebody or having a mentor, like I mentioned, but we don't want to be them. You want to still be you. Now, I might be inspired by this person, but I don't want to duplicate them. I don't want to be the same person. You have to make sure it's still you, still your vibe. Okay? So let's not kind of mix that up. Be inspired, but don't copy. Okay? Have your own jam. Have your own stilo. Okay? Don't be around here trying to be, the Kim Kimbles and the big dogs. Just be you. Just be you. Because people going to love you for you. Always. Period. Also, when learning your identity in the beauty industry, like once you get well into it, some years in, being identified for your work, when you are, like I said, being identified for your work, whatever you do, make sure you're not stealing, and it's still, of course, you. We're still remaining ourselves. We're still being unique. We're still being us. Okay? You can be inspired, but you shouldn't be duplicating other things, because if your stuff blow up, say you put something on Instagram and it just so happened to blow up and go viral, that person, that you probably gonna get somebody that say, oh, she stole that style from such and such. And even if you are inspired, tag the person. Like if I know that I'm inspired by this big person or they did something, I'm gonna say inspired by such and such, but it's my work, right? So let's make sure when we are forming our identity in the beauty industry that you also give credit where credit is due. Tidbit: when I started to find my identity and kind of find my footing, at first I was just known, for, you know, as Tiffany. And I felt like in my hometown, it was a billion Tiffany's. You got Tiffany this, Tiffany this, Tiffany, Tiffany, Tiffany. So I'm like, how can I be identified and be different? So I started going by Lola, or Tiffani Lola. And that's another story for another day how I got the name. But I started going by Tiffani Lola, Tiffani Lola. So one of my clients, I had did her hair one time, and she was just like, I've been Lolatized. I've been Lolatized. So I went with that for a long time. Lola, I had logos, I had cards, Lolatized. That was my thing. So I think that kind of set me apart from all the other Tiffany's that did hair in the hometown at the time. So that's what I kind of did to kind of like have my identity, be known for this, have the slogan, and then of course, everybody try to have a slogan like me, but it's only one Lola, okay? But that's how I set myself apart when getting my identity into the beauty world. And also, I didn't necessarily keep that slogan forever. I always remember you don't have to have that same identity for 40 plus years if you doing hair for 40 plus years. I've kind of like still kept Lola, but I don't use Lola ties anymore. That was like my first years. Very immature logo. But now we have a more mature, clean, logo. Okay. And I still go by Lola. People identify me, or I can identify where and how you've met me in my life. A lot of people from here call me Lola. A lot of like childhood friends or my family, they'll still call me, Tiffany. So I just go by Tiffani Lola. So it's just like with the hair, you gotta have that spicy name. Tidbit, a lot of celebrity stylists and people that that's aren't that ain't their real name for real. Like Whoopi Goldberg, her name is like Lauren something. It's something. A lot of these celebrities, they don't go by their like actual name. So that's something to think about. Like have a little spicy name, but something that's gonna make you you. They can, okay, I know that. That's her. That's Lola. That's Lola right there. So yeah. And with having your identity, we do not, I repeat, we do not want to be identified as the cheap hairstylist. Now, understand, I know when you're first starting, I I done I done been a special queen a time or two. When I first moved to Dallas, Texas, I've been here 5 years now. When I first got here, had no clientele at all. So those first couple of months, maybe to a year, special queen. You just call me special queen because that's what I was for real. I special on braids, special on locks. But I feel like when you're doing that, especially straight out of cosmetology school, we gotta hook the fish, right? We gotta hook them in. We gotta bring them in. And once they see that, oh, you do more than braids. You do color. You do relaxers. You do sew-ins. Once you get them in your chair, that's when you can kind of like, okay, they see that you do everything. But let's not have, you shouldn't be year 5, 6, 7 special queen now. That's like when you first starting off, okay? So let's not be identified as the special queen, okay? None of that. Real prices, okay? Gas is too high. Gas is $4.29 now. Okay. So y'all, that's all I have for today. I definitely want to say thank you guys for subscribing, sharing, reposting. Y'all got your girl up there and it's only up from here. So I'm excited. I think I got like I don't know how many, so, but thank you to the subs. Thank you for the views. Even if you just click on it and watch it. Get my view time up, okay? And I appreciate y'all. Shout out to my friend group. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my friends. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.